The boy was in excruciating pain, an intense, searing sensation that seemed to radiate in waves from his right shoulder, each movement sending fresh jolts of agony through his body. The discomfort was overwhelming, far beyond anything he had ever experienced, and no matter how hard he tried, he couldn't conceal the torment etched across his face. His breathing grew shallow, his eyes welled with tears, and he clutched his arm as though trying to hold the pain in, when his mother, Catherine, caught sight of his anguished expression and the desperate way he cradled his shoulder. A wave of fear surged through her, her heart raced, and panic clouded her thoughts. Acting on instinct, she grabbed the phone and dialed emergency services, her voice trembling as she pleaded for immediate help, praying that someone, anyone, would come quickly to relieve her son's suffering. The first week after Tom's surgery was a whirlwind, a chaotic mix of emotions, physical suffering, and sheer exhaustion. The operation had lasted 12 grueling hours. It left his small body drained, his senses dulled by anesthesia and pain. Though the surgeons had successfully removed the tumor from his right shoulder, the cancer had left behind more than just a scar. It had etched itself into their lives in ways that couldn't be cut away. Tom, once energetic and full of life, now lay pale and listless in his hospital bed. His bright, curious eyes were dulled by fatigue and pain. Catherine barely left his side. She slept in the rigid, uncomfortable hospital chair night after night, always close enough to hold his hand, a quiet but constant reminder that he was not alone. The steady beeping of the heart monitor and the soft murmur of nurses' footsteps in the corridor became the rhythm of their days and nights. Catherine's mind was a battlefield of guilt and fear. She kept replaying the day at the beach over and over again, desperate to find a clue, a warning she might have missed. Could something in the ocean have triggered this? Had a jellyfish sting or some unseen toxin caused the pain that started it all? The doctors reassured her again and again. This cancer was not caused by anything external. Still, the doubts persisted, clinging to her like sea salt on skin. Tom's recovery was slow and painful. The long incision on his shoulder throbbed constantly, and no amount of medication could fully ease the discomfort. He tried to be brave, but there were moments, especially in the stillness of night, when the pain would overwhelm him. One such night, as the hands on the clock crept past midnight, he finally broke down. His voice trembled, cracking as he whispered, "Mom, I can't do this. It hurts so much. I just want it to stop." Catherine's heart splintered into 1,000 pieces. She gathered him gently into her arms, careful not to disturb his bandaged shoulder, and whispered soft words against his temple. "I know, sweetheart. I know it hurts, but you're so strong. You've come so far already. We'll get through this together, I promise." Officer Todd, the policeman Catherine had called in desperation that first night, became a constant presence. After every shift, he visited the hospital, bringing small gifts and stories to lift Tom's spirits, a deck of cards, a jigsaw puzzle, even a handheld video game to distract him from the endless hours. One afternoon, he pulled a chair close to Tom's bed and shared light-hearted tales from his time on the force, funny, human moments that made Tom smile, even laugh, momentarily forgetting the pain. But even Officer Todd couldn't protect them from the reality they were facing. The doctors were frank. The tumor had been aggressive. Though the surgery was successful, there was a high risk of recurrence. Tom would need chemotherapy and radiation, an uphill battle for his already weakened body. Catherine felt as though the weight of the entire world was pressing down on her shoulders, but she kept her sorrow hidden from Tom. She had to be strong. For him, days melted into each other, Tom's appetite waned, and the pain medication left him nauseous and foggy. Catherine coaxed him to eat just a few spoonfuls of soup or a nibble of toast. When he was too tired to speak or watch TV, she read to him, her voice steady, soothing, a lifeline in the storm. At night, when the ward quieted and the lights dimmed, Catherine would sit by the window, gazing out at the stars. She whispered prayers into the silence, asking for strength, for healing, for hope. By the second week, there were glimmers of progress. Tom could sit up for short periods, and the edge of his pain had dulled, if only slightly. The doctors were cautiously optimistic, but they reminded Catherine that the real challenge was only beginning. Chemotherapy was about to start. On the day of his first treatment, Catherine held Tom's hand tightly as nurses prepared the four. He winced as the needle pierced his skin. Her heart broke all over again. Todd stood silently in the corner, his presence a quiet but reassuring strength. As the medication began to drip into Tom's veins, he turned pale. Waves of nausea and dizziness washed over him. Catherine was ready with a cool cloth for his forehead, murmuring encouragements, her touch light and comforting. The days that followed were some of the hardest they'd ever known. The side effects hit hard: constant fatigue, relentless aches, and an ever-present churn in his stomach. Tufts of hair began to fall away, a stark and painful reminder of the battle raging inside his small body. But through it all, they clung to each other. Tom, Catherine, and even Officer Todd, together. They faced each new day with courage that only those who have known deep suffering can understand. The road ahead would be long. But they had already taken the first, most difficult steps. Catherine did everything she could to keep Tom's spirits up, but each day was a battle. His suffering was relentless, and watching her son struggle so much took a toll on her. One afternoon, as she gently brushed loose strands of his hair from the hospital pillow, she froze. The delicate clumps came away in her hand, a harsh reminder of what the chemotherapy was doing to his body. She stared at them for a moment, then broke down, the dam of composure finally shattering. "I hate this," she sobbed, clutching the hair in her trembling hands. "I hate seeing him like this. He's just a kid. He shouldn't have to go through this." Todd was there, as he always seemed to be, quietly present, offering steady support without needing to be asked. He stepped closer, placed a firm yet gentle hand on her shoulder, and waited until the wave of her tears had passed. "He's strong, Catherine," Todd said softly, "and so are you. You're doing everything you can for him. That's what matters most." Despite the pain and constant worry, there were moments when light managed to break through the shadows. One evening, as the golden hues of sunset spilled through the hospital window, Tom turned to his mother with a faint, tired smile. "Mom, do you remember when we went to the beach and built that huge sandcastle?" he asked, his voice weak but tinged with fondness. "The one that took all day to finish." Catherine wiped her eyes and smiled, grateful for the memory. "Of course I do. You were so proud of that castle. You even dug a moat all the way around it." Tom chuckled, a soft, raspy sound. "Yeah, and then the tide came in and destroyed the whole thing. I was so mad." Catherine laughed with him, the sound feeling foreign after weeks of fear. "But you didn't give up," she reminded him. "You started building another one right away, remember?" Tom grew quiet for a moment, his eyes drifting to the window where the sky blushed in pink and orange. "I guess I'm kind of like that sandcastle," he murmured. "The cancer's like the tide, trying to wash me away. But I'm not giving up. I'll just keep rebuilding." Catherine's chest tightened as pride swelled in her heart. In that moment, she saw the incredible strength within her son, a quiet resilience that defied everything he had endured. She leaned in, squeezed his hand gently, and whispered, "You're stronger than any tide, Tom, and I'll be here, helping you rebuild every step of the way." As the second week drew to a close, a bond had formed between Catherine, Tom, and Todd. What began as a chance encounter with a kind officer had grown into something much deeper. Todd wasn't just someone who had responded to a call for help. He had become a friend, a pillar of support, and an anchor during their storm. He came by the hospital every evening, often with warm food for Catherine and little surprises for Tom. Together, the three of them played cards, watched movies, and created fleeting but precious moments of normalcy. They laughed, they talked, they found reasons to smile. One night, as Todd gathered his things to leave, Catherine walked him to the door. Her voice trembled as she spoke. "Todd, I don't know how to thank you. You've been here for us in ways I can't even put into words. You've become family." Todd looked at her, his eyes gentle and full of emotion. "You don't have to thank me, Catherine. You and Tom, you've changed my life, too. I'm just glad I can be here." From his hospital bed, Tom perked up. "So, does that mean you're officially part of the family now?" Todd grinned and walked over, ruffling Tom's thinning hair. "I guess it does, kid. Looks like you're stuck with me." Laughter filled the room, a rare, beautiful sound that echoed like music through the sterile halls. In that moment, Catherine realized something profound. Even in the darkest times, light could still find its way in. The beach, once the backdrop of their happiest days and the beginning of their pain, now seemed like a symbol of something more: the vastness of life, the strength of the human spirit, and the unexpected ways people could come together. The past 2 weeks had been a storm of pain, fear, and fragile hope, Tom's journey was far from over. There would be more treatments, more hard days ahead, but he faced it all with a new resolve. Catherine, too, had discovered a strength she didn't know she had, one fueled by love, by faith, and by the quiet presence of those who chose to stand by them. And Todd, once a stranger, was now a vital part of their story. A living testament to the unexpected power of compassion and connection. Together, they would face whatever came next, one day at a time. Young Mexican boy undergoes life-changing surgery with U.S. support. Jose Antonio Ramirez Serrano, an 11-year-old boy from Mexico, underwent a complex and life-saving surgery earlier this week to remove a massive tumor from his neck, shoulder, and torso. The procedure, performed at the University of New Mexico Children's Hospital, lasted over 12 hours and involved a coordinated team of 25 medical professionals, according to Eliezer, a member of First Baptist Church of Rio Rancho who is currently housing Jose and his family. The surgery was a major milestone, but just the beginning of a long and challenging road to recovery. Many hurdles still lie ahead for this brave young boy, Eliezer said, emphasizing that follow-up surgeries and rehabilitation will be critical in the coming months. Jose's journey to this point has been nothing short of extraordinary. In July 2012, agents from Homeland Security Investigations assisted in transporting Jose and his parents from Ciudad Juarez, Mexico, at the time considered one of the most dangerous cities in the world due to widespread cartel violence. The family had been discovered by members of First Baptist Church during a missionary trip. After seeing Jose's condition firsthand, church members were moved to act. Photos and stories of Jose quickly spread online, capturing national and international attention. As a result, the church received an outpouring of donations, which have since helped fund his medical treatment. Jose was diagnosed with venous lymphangioma, a rare and benign malformation of the lymphatic system that caused a large, fluid-filled growth on his shoulder and neck. According to doctors, the tumor had grown so large over the years that it began to impact Jose's eyesight, restrict movement on the left side of his body, and even interfere with his breathing by pressing into his trachea. With no access to affordable healthcare in Ciudad Juarez or nearby El Paso, the family struggled for years to find treatment. The tumor, which had afflicted Jose since birth, continued to grow unchecked. "We were terrified it would eventually reach his heart," his parents said. For more than 2 years, First Baptist Church has led a sustained effort to support Jose's care, organizing fundraisers and offering housing and logistical support. Their advocacy eventually drew the attention of then New Mexico Governor Susana Martinez, who petitioned federal officials to extend the family's stay in the United States so Jose could continue receiving critical medical care. Though the initial surgery was successful, doctors say Jose will require additional operations. Future procedures will focus on reconstructing the bone in his shoulder and removing excess skin resulting from the tumor's removal. He is expected to remain in the hospital for at least another month as he begins the early stages of recovery. Despite being separated from extended family for much of his treatment, Jose remains in close contact with his parents, who visit as often as they can. He has shown remarkable resilience and strength throughout his ordeal, according to Reuters. Lymphangiomas, while benign, can cause significant medical complications due to their size and location. In Jose's case, the tumor compromised his ability to see, breathe, and move freely. Thanks to the tireless efforts of the church community and generous donations from supporters, Jose's medical expenses have been fully covered thus far. With continued care, his future is looking far brighter than it once did.